Morishima, you're over 300 pounds, and you think you're a badass coming here to the Ring of Honor, and granted you are, but there is no way on earth that you're going to take my sight and leave here without paying some kind of just desserts for it.
Ladies and gentlemen, the following contest is a fight without honor. Meaning there are no rules to this match. It is one fall to a finish. Introducing first, from Tokyo, Japan, weighing 149 kilos, Takeshi Morishima! Danielson's on the apron. Springboard knee strike. Sends Morishima out to the floor.
Streamers are flying here in Manhattan. Baseball slide dropkick sends Takeshi Morishima over the barricade and into the crowd. Danielson is not wasting time.
Springboard dive out to the floor. And Takeshi Morishima is in a heap. The final countdown indeed, a fight without honor between these two men to finally, once and for all, settle a feud that has been raging on for some 16 months here in Ring of Honor between Takeshi Morishima and Bryan Danielson.
And Danielson once again has the ring bell, and he's looking to do some damage to Morishima.
I was back at Manhattan Mayhem 2. In August of 2007, that Takeshi Morishima detached the retina of Bryan Danielson in their singles matchup before pinning Bryan in that matchup. And the battle between these two men has raged on since then. But they have not met in a singles match since Rising Above back in December of 2007, and Danielson is back here in New York to get his revenge on Morishima.
Doing as much damage out on the floor as possible here in this fight without honor, looking to finally gain that measure of revenge and finally soundly defeat Morishima. He's using the chair now.
There's absolutely nothing Danielson won't do to get his revenge on Morishima, I'm sure. It was back at Man Up in Chicago just 3 weeks after the initial injury sustained by Danielson, where Morishima vowed not to attack the injured eye of Bryan Danielson in their matchup.
But he did. He went after the eye of Bryan Danielson.
He did, in fact, win that matchup by ref stoppage, as the referee was very concerned about the safety of Bryan Danielson being forced to wrestle with just one good eye.
All with good reason. You know, he's looking out for the well-being of Bryan Danielson. And Danielson, in New York City, right here at the Manhattan Center complex, got a measure of revenge on Morishima, payback style with the ring bell hammer.
Repeatedly hitting him in the nuts back at Glory by Honor 6 Night 2 in November of 2007. Doing damage with the ring bell on Morishima, as you said, and it was Morishima winning that matchup via disqualification. That brings us here after their matchup at Rising Above tonight. Danielson trying to finish what started some 16 months ago.
It's not so much about punishment to Morishima, as he was just looking for revenge for his eye. Tonight, it's all about the victory. It's all about pinning Morishima, making him submit to win this matchup and decisively defeat him, something that Danielson has not been able to do as of yet.
It's been out on the apron, very dangerous position, as we saw in our last matchup between McGuinness and Marufuji, and Morishima driving the elbow into the small of the back of Danielson and then clubbing him down on the floor with a clothesline. And Dave, I didn't think it was possible, but it looks like Morishima, who's hanging onto the ropes for dear life, before collapsing on the chest of Bryan Danielson. I was about to say, Morishima looks even bigger than the last time we saw him.
Yeah, and he just dropped down with all that weight right on the chest of Danielson. How Bryan can even breathe at this point is beyond me.
After his stay here in Ring of Honor as a regular competitor, when he lost the Ring of Honor World title to Nigel McGuinness back in October of 2007, Morishima made his way back to Pro Wrestling Noah, where he became the GHC Heavyweight Champion. He has since lost that title to Kensuke Sasaki.
No, Danielson has been busted open at the hands of Morishima. Trying to pull himself up on the floor, but no doubt has lost his balance.
Bryan doesn't look like he knows where he is right now, as the blood is starting to flow from the laceration on his forehead above his left eye.
And I talked about how the agenda for Danielson tonight is to finally get that decisive victory against Morishima, whereas Morishima's agenda tonight is to prove that he is the most dominant of these two wrestlers.
He's got a chair, does Morishima. Looking to do more damage to Bryan Danielson. Down across the back.
It could very well be the case that just Morishima has Danielson's number.
I've seen it so many times in so many other sports where one competitor or one team just is able to, on a regular basis, get the advantage as he crashes into Danielson against the barricade. And there's really not much that the other competitor can do about it. And that may be the case for Danielson here, that Morishima may just have his number.
He's a very determined wrestler, though, is Bryan Danielson. Many consider him to be the best wrestler in the world.
Your buddy Nigel McGuinness doesn't consider it.
Well, some people do. You know, because of the fact that Morishima is a former world champion here in Ring of Honor, former GHC heavyweight champion. He was one of the very best in the world himself. And Danielson is certainly fighting that size advantage that Morishima has.
Danielson is doing so,
as well as the blood loss.
I was just about to say, he is doing so without the full capacity of his blood supply, and with 330 plus pounds sitting down across the back of his neck, while his throat hangs across the middle rope, and blood continues to flow from the open wound on the forehead of Bryan Danielson. Morishima absolutely covered in the blood of Bryan Danielson here, and just toying with the former world champ.
Covered in Danielson's blood, though. None of his own has been spilled in this matchup. Morishima has the decided advantage in this contest. Has that physical advantage. He's not cut, he's not bleeding. Danielson is struggling to just have balance at this point.
What a hard kick to the back by Morishima. Danielson all the way out to the floor after the impact of the boot of the massive Takeshi Morishima, connected with his back, and Danielson is in big trouble out on the floor.
The cut looks to be across the top of his head, which means the blood is running into his eyes and could be clouding his vision as well.
Morishima not content to let Danielson get back to his feet under his own volition. He's going to give him a hand by dragging him up to the apron, only to club him back down with another clothesline to the side of the head. And a glassy-eyed Bryan Danielson is hanging onto the barricade.
That's multiple times now that Danielson has gotten up to the apron and has been sent crashing back down at the hands of Morishima.
Premier official Todd Sinclair checking on Bryan to see if he wants to continue, as Morishima looking under the bottom of the ring for something else to do damage with on the body of Bryan Danielson.
Whatever he can get his hands on, it's all legal in this fight without honor. Perhaps looking for the right weapon to put to use is giving Danielson a little bit too much time to come to his senses, but Morishima's got a chain.
Wrapped around the throat of Bryan Danielson. He's looking to finish Danielson off here once and for all. And I don't mean figuratively.
He's looking to choke the life out of him right here. Wrapped around the throat of American Dragon is the steel chain.
Morishima looking to end Bryan Danielson here once and for all.
And Todd Sinclair checking on Danielson. Elbows from Morishima. We've seen ref stoppage put an end to a Morishima-Danielson matchup in the past. Looking out for the well-being of Bryan Danielson when Morishima went after his eye. And we could also see the referee make the judgment call at a point like this in this contest with the chain around his throat, the blood-lossing combination. You gotta wonder if Bryan Danielson is gonna be able to continue.
Yeah, Todd Sinclair in a very precarious position here. He wants to give Bryan every opportunity to win the matchup, but he also needs to be very, very careful not to allow him to take so much punishment that he's risking serious permanent injury at the hands of Morishima.
Oh, he's going to the top rope. Morishima can fly when he wants to. Waiting for the right moment to take flight.
Danielson to his feet, avoids the missile drop kick. The last second avoidance of the massive Morishima flying through the air by Danielson allows him to get back to his feet with a forearm.
Oh, he's firing up.
Oh, but one hard forearm smash sends him reeling back into the corner by Morishima. Irish whip. Danielson runs up the buckles, lands on his feet. Burst of adrenaline here by Dragon off the ropes. Running elbow connects.
It's incredible that Danielson had the balance necessary to land on his feet like that, given the blood loss.
Quickly back to his feet, looking to seize the opportunity. And again with a dive by Danielson. Morishima goes down and Danielson ends up in the seats.
He is so determined tonight to defeat Morishima here at Final Battle. Danielson pulling himself over the barricade.
You can see the look on Bryan Danielson's face telling the story right there. I saw Bryan in the back before the show, and he had a look about him that I had never seen on his face before, Dave. Despite all the world title match he's been in, all the big matches here in his history with Ring of Honor, I have never seen a more focused look on the face of Bryan Danielson than the one I saw earlier this afternoon.
Oh, he's kicking away the knee of Morishima. Back to his feet comes Dragon.
Hard kick across the massive chest of Morishima.
Both focused and determined. Bryan Danielson continuing to kick away at the chest of Takeshi Morishima.
There's nothing more dangerous than a man with a purpose, and Bryan Danielson is a man with a purpose here this evening. And Takeshi Morishima is finding out just how dangerous Bryan Danielson can be. Cover!
Only two. Danielson, for the past couple of minutes, the blood loss has not seemed to faze Danielson as much as you would expect. He still had the balance necessary to hit some of these precision maneuvers, and it doesn't seem to be clouding his vision. He's wiping the blood off of his head and slapping across the face of Morishima with the bloodied hand.
Drags the big man back to his feet, trying to butterfly the arms, but Morishima just bowls him into the corner using his girth. A hard kick to the side of the face sends Danielson crashing down into the corner one more time. Gasping for air as Morishima charges.
Once again, driven right into the side of the face of Danielson. He had balance a couple of minutes ago. Does he have the balance now after those blows? Uranagi suplex.
Just drove him into the canvas. Did not hook the leg, and Danielson able to kick out at 2.
Morishima waiting for the right moment to hit the ropes and get momentum.
Turn him inside out with a lariat. Cover. But again, only 2. As referee Todd Sinclair right there with the count.
It'll take a lot to take away that focus, that determination Bryan Danielson has to pull out the win here tonight, finally, against Morishima. It could be the backdrop driver.
Oh, but he lands on his feet. Small package! Couldn't hold Morishima down. Very few people have ever gotten out of that small package. O'Connor roll blocked. Standing switch. What a suplex!
Incredible strength shown by Danielson right there. Going after the arms. Cattle mutilation. Can he get it? He does!
Morishima locked in the center of the ring. Sinclair asking him if he wants to give it up. Listen to this crowd.
Keeping control of the arms. Getting in position.
Elbows from Danielson repeatedly to the side of the head of Morishima.
Oh, but somehow Morishima back to his feet.
Oh, what power by Morishima. Forearm, no effect.
Takes Danielson down with one forearm strike of his own.
Another forearm. And once again, down goes Danielson.
But still pulling himself back up.
Blocks that clothesline. Rolling elbow. Danielson off the ropes. Lariat.
Another one. Turns him inside out. All the momentum he had as he came off the ropes was used against him right there. Notice Morishima slow to follow up. Slow to maybe go for a cover here. As Danielson is continuing to bring the fight to Morishima every step of the way.
Morishima again with that chain. One more time, trying to choke out Danielson here. Just hanging Bryan Danielson. The steel chain wrapped around his throat. Is Danielson going to have to tap here? Morishima really wrenching back.
He's not giving it up. Morishima going for the pin. Shoulder up.
Oh, again, just instinct and adrenaline keeping Bryan Danielson going here. Again, the crowd here in Manhattan urging him on. Perhaps past his physical limits at this point, as he's placed up on the top. Morishima climbing up behind.
We see a superplex here from Morishima. Perhaps a top rope backdrop driver.
Morishima all the way to the top. Danielson trying to slip out the back door. He does.
Oh, Morishima crouched on the top turnbuckle. Danielson now going for a superplex of his own. Can he get the big man up?
Very dangerous position here. Superplex. But can he follow up? The physical effort required to lift a man the size of Takeshi Morishima and drive him off the top rope is staggering. Cover.
Morishima with the shoulder up.
Danielson's pointing. What's he looking at?
The chain.
He's got the chain.
Morishima tried to put Danielson out with the chain, wrapping it around his throat, and now Danielson has control of that very weapon, and he's going to try to do the same thing to Morishima.
He's got it wrapped around his throat. Kicking away at the head.
He's kicking his head in. Chain still around the throat of Morishima. Triangle choke.
Will Morishima tap out or pass out?
So moving his fingers there for a second. Trying to hang in there is Morishima.
Todd Sinclair checking on him. The arm goes down once. Make it twice, one more, and Danielson will have his revenge. No!
His head did not fall completely. His fingers still up off the canvas, and now Morishima. Oh, what strength shown by Morishima!
One arm just hoisted Danielson off the canvas and powerbombed his way free.
What a physically taxing battle once again between Danielson and Morishima here in New York City. And all of these fans here in the jam-packed Hammerstein Ballroom to their feet, encouraging Bryan Danielson.
Bryan hanging onto the ropes, makes it back to his feet in the corner. Morishima charges into the boot of Bryan. Danielson on the second, right into the arms of Morishima. Dumped down with a suplex. Lariat.
That's now 3 big lariats from Morishima that have connected.
Backdrop driver. Nailed it. Cover. Too close to the ropes.
All that ring positioning right there. You gotta wonder if he hit that in the center of the ring and went for the cover, if that would have been the end of this one. And once again, Morishima with control of the chain.
Wrapping it around his arm. He's hit several lariats, as you pointed out. If he hits one with that chain wrapped around it, that might be all for the American Dragon.
That will be it.
Blocked.
Fujiwara armbar cinched in by Danielson.
Sitting down on the shoulder as well.
Modified version of the Fujiwara armbar. Same pressure put down across the shoulder, and the chain still wrapped around the arm.
As the arm's trapped behind him.
He's trying to render Morishima defenseless. He's tying his hands behind his back.
He's got trying to get his arms through the back as well. Forearm shot by Danielson off the ropes, but the huge foot of Morishima connecting with the face of Danielson.
He didn't tie up his legs, and Morishima's using them to his advantage.
One more time in the ropes goes Morishima, and one more time, Bryan Danielson gets kicked down to the canvas. Low blow by Danielson.
All legal, fight without honor.
It's a side of Bryan Danielson we've never seen before. And again, down goes Morishima. Repeated stomps to the groin.
And now Danielson with the chain once again.
Wrapping it around his arm. Stepping over. He's got him trapped. Elbows by Danielson with the chain.
Morishima's not giving it up.
Repeated elbows by Bryan Danielson. Morishima's also not defending himself. Cow mutilation.
Will he tap? Oh, his arm looks to be limp once again. That's it. Danielson has finally done it.
Here is your winner, American Dragon, Bryan Danielson. It took him 16 months and a supreme physical price to exact his revenge on Takeshi Morishima, but Bryan Danielson here in New York City, in front of the largest crowd in Ring of Honor history, has exacted his revenge on Morishima. The cow mutilation, after repeated elbow strikes with the chain wrapped around the arm, has put down the giant Japanese monster. listen to this crowd here in Manhattan.
As we've seen so many times before, Danielson with his hand raised in victory to conclude a spectacular evening of Ring of Honor Wrestling.
Well, I said earlier, Dave, that I had never seen that look on the face of Bryan Danielson before, and he thought he was going to have to go to a place he'd never been, and he did just that, and he's got the mic.
I just wanted to say thank you to everybody that's here tonight. Tonight, I've been here for almost 7 years. And this here tonight was the largest crowd in Ring of Honor history. Now, I want to thank each and every person that's here, whether you're in the vast majority that likes me, or you're one of the 2 or 3 people who hates me. Hey, everybody buys their ticket. They can cheer for who they want. That's what's great about Ring of Honor. But if you look at all the guys in this ring and how much each and every one of us has bled for this company, has been hurt for this company, who would come out and bust their ass and do anything to please you people, all I ask from you people is that you guys just keep coming back. Now, I'm not in any condition to go drinking tonight. But there's a large number of guys from this company who are. So I invite everybody here, if you can find it, to the Ring of Honor after party. Have a good night and a Happy New Year, everybody!
Well, Dave, I don't think there's anything else that you or I can really add to what Bryan Danielson just said, except fans, we thank you very much for joining us. We thank you for a tremendous 2008, and we look forward to seeing you in 2009 as we are back January 16th in Manassas, Virginia.